What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to G Miles World Podcast. And right now, we're going to be looking at Week 15. All right, we had some Saturday games, we had some Sunday games. You guys know it's the holidays, so the NFL is always on the weekends. Doesn't matter what your schedule is. You know what I'm saying? Roger Goodell is like, yo, turn on your TVs. Don't worry about your family. Just watch some football. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the Vikings and the Bengals. Okay. Now, this is very, very interesting, dude. This dude Browning, bro. This is why the NFL is so crazy. Because we're getting to see, I believe Dobbs was benched, right? If my memory serves correctly, because obviously, you know, the game was a couple days ago and you've been having some alcoholic beverages. But, dude, that guy is garbage. All right, Dobbs, Fobbs, whatever his name is, he sucks. But this Bengals team, right? We spoke about this before. I don't know how far they can actually go without Joe Burrow. All right? But Browning is making a case that he's able to motivate this team to fight. Okay? You put up 21 points in the fourth, you're ready to fight. All right? The Vikings suck. Let's just be honest about it. They're not good, and I'm disgusted. Even if Kirk Cousins would have played, it's all over the place with that team right now. So I don't really know where they're going with it. But you give up 21 in the fourth. You deserve to lose the game. Now, it did go to OT. It was a very, very interesting game, the way that it was set up and everything. A 44-yard grab by Tyler Boyd set up the field goal in overtime. But, you know, honestly, bro, Browning is playing out of this world. 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for a backup that nobody knew anything about before Joe Burrow got injured. And we always, and I'm saying we because I know you guys do the same thing, we don't expect the backups to do anything. Only in certain cases where a backup that's decent goes to another team and we kind of chant for them to get in, do we actually care about the backup? So I don't know what's going on right now, but I like it a lot for the Bengals because it kind of gives them some flexibility to know that they got 2 premier players that can play. The problem is Browning may get picked up by somebody else next season because he's showing that he can win. Now, I know the first 3 quarters were disgusting. And he came out like, who's the other dude that always do the fourth quarter? Tim Tebow? He came out like Tim Tebow in the fourth, bro, and just went wild. But we got to see with the growth. But I loved his excitement after the game. And, that type of confidence and stuff like that, it could take you a long way. So the Bengals won again. They're 8-6. I don't know what's going to happen, bro. They might end up going to the playoffs. Do I expect them to do anything? Do I expect them to get an upset? No. But it's a very special story for Browning there. The Steelers and the Colts. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Gardner Minshew, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns? Are you serious? The one thing that I give the Steelers credit for, and I have all year, is the fact that they play good defense. This obviously was not good defense. All right? So when you go out there and this is the result, now not only are you inept offensively, now your defense is trash. Nobody even cares. It's like, all right, bro, let's go ahead and deal with these dudes. They garbage. And that's what I saw. It was absolutely disgusting. Pure domination by the Colts. And don't look now, guys, but the Colts are 8-6. Steelers dropped to 7-7. And then when we get to the Baltimore Ravens game, seeing that they won, it's looking even worse for the Steelers. So we'll get to that in a second. But, obviously the Steelers are not a team of old. They're far from where the big Ben Roethlisberger days were. And even the AB and all the stuff they used to have and all that offensive excitement. Defensively, they had legends. Those guys are all gone. I don't know what's happening with this team. It just seems like that type of year where a lot of the teams that we're used to being decent and being, in the running for the playoffs are just not there anymore. Broncos and the Lions. Now, we're not going to talk about the way the Lions dominated the Broncos. What we're going to talk about is the fact that this guy, Sean Payton, right? What he did to Russell Wilson, although hilarious, is not okay from a head coach. This is what I want you guys to understand, right? How many times, just hear me out. How many times have you seen Bill Belichick go off on Tom Brady on the sideline? How many times did you see the coach of the Colts go off on Peyton Manning? How many times? This is something that, again, I don't know what is going on, and I understand Russell Wilson is not, even with the way they were winning on the win streak, Russell Wilson is not what everybody thought that they, what they had with the Broncos. He was a very, very fortunate quarterback to have the Legion of Boom in Seattle. He's not that guy that can just go out there and do whatever he wants. He has talent, but he's not that player that everyone thought that he was. Now, on an offensive offside penalty at that time, moving you out of the red zone, that's a very, very difficult thing to see as a head coach. But Sean Payton has to calm down because a lot of players would have probably attacked him. And the issue is they can't really fire him. Unless he's trying to get fired, they can't really fire him based on his contract. So it's kind of tough. And again, a morale booster is never doing it like that. You get motivated positively in public. You never get motivated negatively in public. That's just out of respect for another grown man. So it's a lot more problems going on with the Broncos than everybody realizes. It's like, yo, what the heck? Dude, are you serious? Bro, that's all I took from the game. Goff had 5 touchdowns and it was like historic because I think Jared Goff is garbage. Like I've told you guys this, and I'm not, dude. I don't care. He threw 5 touchdowns. That's great, bro. That dude right there. Listen, he's Jekyll and Hyde, bro. That guy's gonna screw you when you least expect it. You know, Gibbs with his 100 yards. Finally, we spoke about that last week. He has to be over 100 yards. St. Brown 112 yards, 1 touchdown. The Lions were cooking, but the most important part of this game that I took from it was the sideline situation. I did not like that at all. And again, Russell Wilson, like, dude, okay, like some games, you know, last year he was horrendous. This year he's been a little bit better. They've been on a win streak. Is that necessary to act like that, Sean Payton? Is that necessary? I just don't think so. The Browns and the Bears. Well, the good news is, you know, Joe Flacco has found the fountain of youth, and he's running around throwing for 300 yards in consecutive weeks, and it's just real wild. And the Browns are 9-5. And I know that a lot of guys think that Deshaun Watson, you know, he didn't care about the team this year. He got his money. He doesn't even want to play football. I think he's kind of frustrated with the fact that, you know, he did a lot of weird stuff and he got the result of doing all that weird stuff. And, you know, it's something about him, the way he plays now. I don't like his gameplay. I don't think that he's good. Look, I'm just being totally honest. I got to be honest with you guys, bro. I don't think he's good anymore. I think they should try to get out of the contract and figure out what they have to do with him because something's going on there. You know what I'm saying? And the type of stress and stuff that he was under and the things that he's done allegedly in the past, I think had a lot to do influentially on the way that he's playing right now. And I'm not saying that Joe Flacco should come back next year. The dude is like 97 years old. But I think there are a lot of other options, and you should probably try to move on from, you know, Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. So the Browns win this game after the Bears were playing well thoroughly throughout. They score 13 in the fourth, and they're able to come back and handle this. Now remember, Flacco had 374 yards. He also had 3 interceptions. So it's still the Joe Flacco from old. But that sideline rope catch from Amani Cooper, craziness, bro. That was just straight clutch action. So the Browns, how far can they go? If they play good defense and Flacco brings back that, you know, Ravens Super Bowl magic, the sky's the limit. As far as Justin Fields, he played well throughout the entirety of the game until the fourth. As usual, I don't know what's going to happen with him. The Bears may end up using that first-round pick and going after someone else. The Buccaneers and the Packers. Very, very important that you guys understand this. Baker Mayfield had 4 touchdowns and 381 yards. That is absolutely ridiculous. As much as I don't respect Baker Mayfield, that is not easy to do, you know, at Lambeau Stadium. Okay, so I don't know exactly what's happening, but the Buccaneers being in the same division with the, you know, the 504 boys and the Saints and all that garbage, it could turn out to be a little bit more exciting than we thought. I still don't even know what's going on when I'm watching that game. It just seems like it's a weird situation and you don't know who to root for when you watch the Buccaneers. Godwin is not what he once was, even though he had 155 yards yesterday. Their running back White, it's like, all right, you know, we don't really know what's happening. But the name that really stands out is Baker Mayfield because of all the flack he took, you know, with the OBJ thing with the Browns. Like, everything has always been bad for this young man. So, you know, we just automatically assume he's going to suck. And he didn't last night. Packers, you got some work to do, but it don't really matter. I don't think you guys... Well, no, you haven't actually been eliminated yet from playoff contention, according to what they were saying yesterday. So we have to wait to see. But does anybody believe in that team right now? I would probably say no. The Texans and the Titans. This was a very, very interesting game. Bro, kind of anticlimactic at the end because, you know, the Titans suck anyway. But they had a lot of opportunity to make plays. Unfortunately, they could not. And the Texans squeezed this one out. Obviously, you know, their starting quarterback is out, and Keenum came in and was able to win this game. You know, C.J. Stroud not being there is a huge, huge loss. And you guys got to see that. It was very, very hard for them to score. And they somehow pulled it out in overtime. Again, the Titans are not good. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know what the hell he's doing most of the time. But again, he had some opportunities to make some catches. He looked at the quarterback after the throw, you know, the throws like it was all the quarterback's fault. Not sure if every one of them was the QB's fault. But we're not going to talk about that. The Titans are not doing well, and they're probably not going to be able, you know, obviously to do anything for the remainder of the season. They need to start looking in the draft. and start moving on. The Jets and the Dolphins, the Jets are horrific. They've been eliminated from playoff contention. We don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about Aaron Rodgers coming back. Everything is beautiful in the world. Thank you very much, Jets, for this season. It was very, very unfortunate that you had your starting quarterback go down game 1, but there is no excuse to lose 30-0. Like 30-0, like, bro, there's no excuse. So we don't need to really talk about it too much. The Jets suck. Let's move on to let's move on. Dolphins went out there and handled business. They're 10-4. Look, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. All right? Chiefs and the Patriots. The Patriots are the most horrific team in the league, but they were able to get 2 interceptions from Patrick Mahomes yesterday. And, there were some questions about pass interference against Kelsey, stuff like that. I don't really care. The Patriots suck. The Chiefs had to win this game. That's what happened. Nothing really exciting about the game overall, other than the fact that after the game, Patrick Mahomes was very, very happy with the refs. Go figure. The Giants and the Saints. The Giants don't really have anything to play for, so Derek Yu's car coming out and throwing for 3 touchdowns. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. What does it all mean? Shout out to Austin Powers. Doesn't really matter. Saints are 7-7. They suck. Falcons and the Panthers. Now, if you watched this game like I did, because it was in the middle of other things that were going on, you were probably disgusted and you threw up in your mouth a couple times because the final score was 9-7. And it went on for so long and it was so disgusting that you probably were very upset with yourself for sitting through it. Bryce Young had 167 yards. He was absolutely terrible for the most part of the game, as he's been all year. But it's not about that. The Falcons take a tough loss against a team that only had 1 win, and it was really disgusting. So these are 2 trash teams running around trying to figure out who's more trash. That's all I got from that. The Commanders and the Rams. Earlier in this game, I thought the Rams were going to completely destroy the Commanders. Commanders show fight. Look, it doesn't really matter. You can fight as much as you want. You suck. But Matthew Stafford and these Rams, I'm starting to think that they might make the playoffs and make some noise, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude's getting wide open. Cooper Kupp wide open. Nobody's on the left side of the field. Like, yo, dude, what is Oh, but wait a minute. The Commanders and Magic Johnson and all these other idiots, they got rid of all their star players. Montez Sweat, Chase Young. All right. Good stuff, bro. Niners and the Cardinals. Don't look now, boys. Brock Purdy could be the NFL MVP. Yo, 4 touchdowns, division rival, 242 yards, 45-29. I know the Cardinals suck, but they're still a division rival. Guy's playing out of his mind. He's putting those numbers up. Christian McCaffrey playing well. Defense playing well, although they gave up 29. I don't know how they did that. But listen, bro. This is going to be very, very interesting because it's going to be hard to argue that Brock Purdy doesn't deserve or hasn't earned the MVP, just based overall on the numbers and everything that's going on. I just want to be very careful to make sure everybody understands that. Dak Prescott had a chance after being hot for a very, very, a long time, like 5 games or whatever, with his streak. But, we'll get to him in a second. Niners are looking really, really tough going into the playoffs, getting late in the season. Dude, we got to see what happens with this. This can be really, really wild if Purdy wins the MVP, bro. That man about to get paid. That's all I'm going to really say. But are the Niners ready to take it to that next level and win a Super Bowl? I got news for you. It's a very, very high chance if this team continues to stay healthy over this next 4 weeks that they can. Cowboys and the Bills. All right, let's just talk about this. Let's just go right down to the nitty gritty. CeeDee Lamb. He tells everybody he's a star receiver, right? He had 53 yards. Before we blame him, let's talk about Dakota Rain Prescott. Now, I know the Bills supposed to be good defensively, all that crap, but we've seen other inept team like the Jets beat them, so I don't want to hear nothing about that. I don't want to hear about Micah Parsons. I don't want to hear nothing about that. It shouldn't have been this bad. Dak Prescott had 134 yards and 1 interception. That was his stat line. 134 yards and 1 interception. 53 of that 134 went to CeeDee Lamb. 7 receptions, 53 yards. Are you kidding me? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Josh Allen running it in for 6 and stuff like that, finding ways to score, that was great. In the air, he didn't do that well either. So it wasn't like he was, he outplayed Dak Prescott. It was a defensive game, but the Bills were just better overall and beat the Cowboys 31-10, dropping the Cowboys to 10-4, which probably alters any chance they had for trying to win that division with the Eagles. We'll see what happened with the Seahawks later for Monday Night Football, but this is really, really bad stuff, guys, okay? Because every time you try to give the Dallas Cowboys credit, this happens. And that's why when I make the post, and the Cowboy fans are like, yo, let's take it week by week. They understand that Dak Prescott, some days he'll just do this, and it don't really matter. And it's kind of a sad situation. On the other hand, the Bills are 8-6, but do I believe when they go to the playoffs, they'll beat the Dolphins? I do. like they did in the regular season? I do. So the Bills are dangerous, but the Bills have to continue to win out to make sure that they secure a spot because they're in the same division in that AFC East. And as long as that happens, I will take the Bills to really, you know what I'm saying, be able to handle business on that side. Ravens and the Jaguars, okay? Now, Lamar Jackson in the air wasn't really that good. That one throw to that rookie tight end, man. Yo, dude, likely that was a Madden type of play. And if you guys know, G-Myers World, you know, that's what we do. We play Madden on our main channel. That pass was ridiculous. And that's ultimately what it was, other than the fact that Lamar just jukes dudes and never gets sacked for the most part. It's a really, really crazy situation. I see the way that this is, and I definitely know for a fact, okay, that the Ravens are going to be very, very dangerous once the playoffs start. As long as Lamar Jackson stays healthy and that defense continues to play like that, they gave up the one wheel route in the game and that was it. It's going to be a very, very good outcome for the Ravens if they're able to stay healthy, because they have everything clicking on both sides. And honestly, I do believe matched up against any team in the league, they can win. And I can't say that for a lot of teams. It doesn't even matter what your scheme is. The Ravens are just very difficult to beat simply because of the way that they play. The ground and pound, Lamar's ability to throw the ball like 60, 70 yards whenever nobody gives him credit as a quarterback in most cases, whenever he loses, but you can see he flicks it very, very like seamlessly down the field. And his you know what I'm saying, he can run, he can move. So that's what I'm getting out of it. I'm very, very excited to see them in the playoffs, because if he starts winning in the playoffs, now you're going to have another argument about, yo, is this guy, you know, the real deal? Because they have all the tools right now, guys. Other than the fact that the Ravens put him through hell for his contract, I'm happy for the Ravens. The Jags, okay, Trevor Lawrence, dude. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, look, it is what it is. The Jags were looking pretty good. Now all of a sudden they suck. It is what it is. I'm not really worried about it overall, but I will tell you this. If the Jags go to the playoffs, like I told you guys when they were like number 1 or something like that a couple weeks ago, it doesn't really matter, Jag fans. It doesn't really matter. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you tune in for Monday Night Football's recap. Remember, you can download this podcast for free on G-Myers World Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Android, all that good stuff. Search G-Myers World Podcast, download it for free. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You enjoy your day. Stay well, stay blessed. Until next time. One love, y'all.